Good evening. The time is now 7 p.m. I'd like to call this Board of Selectmen meeting to order for January 24th at 7 p.m. and ask that you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, and roll call.
Art Gagnon. Scott Gardner.
Kevin Cunningham. And item C is to approve minutes, meeting minutes from the special Board of Selectmen meeting from January 15th.
Make a motion to approve the meeting minutes from January 18th, 2022.
Okay.
Second motion.
There's been a motion made and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Item D, which is public comment. If there's anybody from the public that wishes to speak, this would be the time.
Actually, I would like to ask a question. June Gagney, Central Village. When are you going to get a new sound system in here?
It's in the budget for next year.
It's in the budget for next year?
Yes.
How much do you think it will cost? That it
Well,
has.
the one that we want to put in there with the sound, not just sound, but also with the camera systems, is about $28,000.
Well, why can't you just put a sound system in?
It's part of...
A regular sound system with mics so that people can hear. So you're going to go ahead and put a whole you're going to go for a big camera system?
Yes.
And who's going to run that?
Well, we're working on it because it's in the budget as well.
You're going to budget somebody to video all the meetings?
Yes.
Is that what you're going to be doing?
Yes. Anybody else? Okay, on to item E. We don't have any old business in item F. Consider an act on tax refunds for request for tax collector totaling $192.36 for USB leasing LT, which is $192.36.
Make a motion to approve the request for $192.36 sent to the tax collector. Second motion.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Item number 2 is consider an act on a resolution creating a charter revision commission and adding members to said committee. I did pass out before the meeting letters of intent from some people. I know that we'd like to probably continue that discussion because it's usually when you bring it up at a meeting like this that people say, oh, I didn't know you were going to do that. And so we can keep that open. But normally what happens under the state statutes, anywhere from 5 to 15 people can be on the board. And it does have to be a mix of different party affiliations like the following of the town charter says. So, first of all, if you were to so consider having a charter revision commission, you have to do the resolution for it. And I gave you, I think this is under Connecticut General Statutes, section 7-188, so that the town clerk would have to certify that the following is true and correct. A copy of the resolution adopted by the Board of Selectmen is a duly called and held meeting on January 24th, at which a quorum was present and acting throughout, and that the resolution has not been modified, rescinded, or revoked, and is of presence and in full force and effect. 3, resolved that the Plainfield Board of Selectmen shall, in accordance with the Connecticut General Statutes, Section 7-188, shall amend its charter, and be it further resolved that Kevin Cunningham, as first selectman of the town of Plainfield, is authorized and directed to do and perform all acts and things which he deems to be necessary or appropriate to carry out such amendment. The undersigned further certifies that Kevin Cunningham now holds the office of first selectman and has held that office since November 19, 2019. It witnessed, therefore, undersigned and executed, which will be tomorrow, the 25th day of January 2022, and that will be for Diane Talbot. So I wanted to know what your pleasure is. Do you want to have another charter revision commission? If so, would you then authorize the resolution that was just read?
I would make a motion to authorize the resolution as read.
Scott has made the motion.
Second.
Mark is second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
I would now like to add another item, so I'm going to ask for a motion to add on agenda item number 3. It is to discuss and act on passing of the procurement policy to fix a roof at Moosup Little League. If we can add it, we can talk about it, so if we can add it,
I'll make a motion to add item 3. Procurement policy.
okay.
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye. Aye. I apologize. Last week was Tuesday's start for the week, and we had our special selectmen meeting, and then right into Wednesday, and quick turnaround for Thursday to get this agenda, so I forgot this one. We will share with you the information, and if you take a look at the pictures that I passed out to you, you'll see that this is a discussion that we had last week. We had a meeting with the president of the Little League. I would liken this to the idea that we own these properties. We did the same thing last year with the parks and the tanks. We'd like to do the same things with the Lions Park. We own these properties and we need to maintain them. You can see some things that are in disrepair, some things that we talked about cooperatively, we worked on. We would like to take over some of the work that's being done there and help them out. But in order to do that, one of the biggest problems is the roof that's on top of the Moosup Little League is in disrepair. They can't do anything with it. It's actually, in one section, you can't walk by it, you actually go through the roof. So the president of the Little League had reached out to a few people that he knows. What you have in front of you is a quote just for materials, not for labor. But in order to go forward with that, you have to be able to bypass the procurement policy and to move on this very quickly, because it is winter and we're afraid that what's going to happen is the snow that we get is actually going to collapse that in. I had the building inspectors go and look and review and saw that exactly that was the issue. So what we'd have to do is to discuss it, see if it's something you would like to do, and if so, in order to move forward very quickly on it, we'd have to make a motion to bypass the procurement policy in order to fix the roof at the Moosup Little League. I will let you know that I did have one of the gentlemen who was in there, Kyle Collins, who worked very well with the Moosup Little League in years past. They went with a few other people to take a look at the actual field, the conditions. That's why some of these are mostly Plainfield. We also have some of the same issues over in Moosup. It's going to take a few years to get the grass back to what it was, but we can also still work on some of these other issues cooperatively with the boards, Little League board, to work on things. Usually what they have a problem with is getting volunteers down there to go pick things up, clean things up, and we'd like to be able to work with them and help them on that. So some of the big heavy equipment we can get in there and take things out with the highway department, but we need to work on that roof, I would say, as soon as possible. Any questions or concerns?
The policy, procurement policy, does it start at 75?
It goes 25, it goes to 7,500 is the max that you have to go to bid, but again, that's why we would ask to bypass it. Yeah, and that's just materials. He's doing it for without any labor. Most of that entire roof has to come off, so all of that. Knowing the prices of wood nowadays, how they've escalated, that's definitely something we have to work on.
So we're also making a decision on this?
Yep. It would have to be a motion to approve the work being done for $7,500 for Luke Walker, and then bypassing the procurement policy to fix the roof through him.
Where it's coming from, 7,500.
Kelly, it's actually part of recreation, because this is Parks and Rec, so that's exactly where it would come from. But the deal was, and I will explain that, in very generic terms. The deal was that they wanted to go forward with a way that they can use the fields, and they would actually pay the town of Plainfield a small stipend. In other words, if each of the children that are playing on their teams, they pay a fee anyway. We would ask them if they would add on maybe another $5 onto that, and that $5 would then come back to the town of Plainfield as part of the revenue line item. It's not a lot, but it helps offset and defray some of the costs. So, well, they have, I think, 16 teams this year, so that will help out. We told them we would actually bypass it this year because they've already had registration started. It's not fair to jump in right now. We didn't put it in our line items for revenue either. So it's really something we'd definitely be putting into our budget for next year through recreation. Now, the Parks and Rec would have to go out and help maintain with the highway, with our highways to maintain it. I can give you some other examples of what things we have to fix eventually, and we're working on that right now. It's not a lot of money, but it's all the infield is supposed to be red clay. It has to be a certain type of red clay, otherwise you slide and get hurt. So we're already looking into where we can get that from. Places that used to make it don't make it anymore. So we're searching further out. We talked about who's responsible for what. We're also looking into finding some places to get new bleachers for very expensive costs. Obviously cleaning up the fence line. If you notice on the top of a lot of the fences, there's that yellow protective barrier jointly maintained.
They plan on doing a lot of this for themselves.
Yes. Yes. Questions, concerns? So what I'm looking for is that motion. If you got it, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to waive the procurement policy. Let's spend $7,500 for Moosup Little League for the roof on the concessions.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
We really didn't talk about adding the members to the committee. I would like to make sure that we do that at the next meeting for the charter division, and giving it an opportunity for those people who haven't just hearing about it now will be able to put their names in. I think we'll have enough people and people who are experienced, as you saw from your list, to give that. Yeah. Item G says other. I can say that as a follow-up from the last meeting when we appointed all those individuals to their boards and commissions who were appointed, that we do have some openings, and I would definitely like to share that with the public. Ag Commission has a vacancy that expires in January 5th, 2026. Conservation Committee has two openings. The last one is unaffiliated, so it doesn't matter which party they ag. Conservation Commission, we have two, one's Republican, one's Democrat, and that would be ending January 6, 2025. Ethics Commission, we have a vacancy for a Democrat position, ending January 5th, 2026. Housing Authority has a vacancy, Republican, term expires January 4th, 2027. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put this up on the town website and also on Facebook page, and that way people can start seeing it and see what's available. And hopefully by our next meeting, we can actually start putting some names to this, and as well as the Charter Vision Commission. I do want people to know one other thing, these things change on a daily basis. So what you see for the testing that's being done right now outside, testing is done through SEMA 4. SEMA 4's contract is done at the end of the month. That doesn't mean it's going away. What it means is that another company is now going to be taking over. So I was talking to them today on a Zoom meeting. They're actually coming out here tomorrow to review it. A little different type of testing methodology. So instead of a swab, it's a spit. Yeah. But they're the ones that are coming in, and if there's any adjustments after that fact, like if they're going to do less days or less hours, I'll let you know. But as of right now, they're going to come in and take over as of February 1st. And we also received more of the test kits. We also received more masks. and gloves for the police. So we'll talk about how those are supposed to be distributed, because the governor gave a very specific list of who gets, what groups get what. So over the next week or so, we'll go over that and then talk about the possibility of another session with taxing next month. I did notice that there is a lot less people going over to get testing, so I'm not sure if they're finding the facilities. And we did have a vaccine clinic here this past weekend, and that was well attended. And 58 people showed up for that. That's pretty much all we have right now. We're starting to put our budget together, so over the next week or so, hopefully I'll have it a first version, and I'll share that with you. And you can see what's in there, and if you have any issues, we can talk about. Can I say?
I have 2 questions.
Sure.
On these items, first was the ethics committee. We make sure we get that on, because we do have a letter of intent sitting on.
I know, yeah, and I thought
we could get
you're
that.
right.
Because ethics should have 5 years at all times. And the other one was COVID testing. Could you ask them to go less time, maybe twice a week? Because I noticed it's not as much. And I see the police officers sitting here till 7 o'clock. Kind of bothers me.
Yep.
And, the state's paying for it, but it's still on tax dollars.
Well, actually, the money will be coming from our COVID-19 money, so that's now going to start. So yeah, then you could talk about less
The money they gave us last year.
FEMA money. Yep.
So, still goes to the taxpayer, so I'd like to see less.
This time I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
And motion and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
And the time is 7:17. Thank you.